Hello dear student, how are you all? I think everyone are fine there. So student, today we are going to begin with the part 2 of the lesson number 2, the tsunami. Here we have the lesson number 2, the tsunami, and this video is a part 2 of the book number 1. So student, before beginning with the lesson of the part 2, here just recall of the previous video. In the previous video, what we have learned, we learned that the climate change, a natural disaster in the form of the tsunami, a very worst and a drastic tsunami or natural calamity which hit to the Andaman and the Nicobar island, the parts of the Tamil Nadu coastal areas, and it hit to the Thailand and the Philippines. So we have learned and we studied about the survivors and the peoples who faced this natural disaster and they survived, and these peoples were telling the story what they have seen on that day, the day when the tsunami hit to the coastal areas where peoples are enjoying. Some of them are residing in the homes, some of them are there in work, or some of them celebrating the Christmas. So this is what we have learned. Even we learned that how human beings were staying with their family in the tsunami, and some of them shown such a bravery and a courageous thing to save the life of another one. So here for the best example we have, yes, the policeman Sanjeev. Though he managed himself to save his small born, a baby daughter and his wife, but when he heard the sound of the help from the John's wife, he jumped into the wave and he tries to save the John's wife, but both of them drawn away with the waves of the tsunami, and his wife and daughter left behind. So this is what happened. And some of the families were sleeping in the home when the earthquake taken place first, and they waked up and they went outside. They seen that tsunami waves are coming towards the island and towards the land, and they start running towards the opposite direction of the tsunami, and some of them are survived and some of them are not. Here you will learn about the Meghna, and she came here in her grandfather and grandmother's home on the occasion of Christmas Eve, and she also survived, and rest of the family members were died. And you learned about the Almas Javed. So what happened with them? Yes or no? So this is what we have learned in the previous video of the lesson Tsunami. So today we are going to begin with the part number 2 of the same lesson. So before beginning, here we had some comprehension check questions. This is what we have discussed. So let's begin with the part 2 here. In the part 2, first we have an introduction. We will discuss the introduction, and afterwards we will begin with the remaining portion. Fine. Part 2. Tilly Smith, a British school girl. So here we have a character in the part 2. What's her name? Tilly Smith. And she is a girl of a British school. She is a British school girl. A British school girl named Tilly Smith was able to save many lives when the tsunami struck Phuket beach in Thailand. So this girl Tilly Smith could able to save the many number of lives when the tsunami hit to the beach which is called Phuket. Where it is? It is in Thailand. Though she has won a number of awards, her parents have not allowed their daughter to be interviewed on the television and made into a heroine. Why do you think they took that decision? See what happened. This girl Tilly Smith of a British school, she went to Thailand for a visit, for a picnic with her parents. So she instantly heard, okay, she got some memory of geography lesson, okay, which is taught by her teacher. She got about geography lesson and she differentiated that in the geography lesson I have learned that how the tsunami take place, and in the same manner she experienced the same thing in the beach, and she made alert to rest of them, the peoples who were enjoying in the beach were in the Phuket, Thailand, and everyone saved their lives by alertness, okay, by a helping cry with this girl. So everyone saved their life and they taken a shelter somewhere in the hotels and somewhere, okay, under the trenches, and everyone saved their lives. And this girl, okay, named too much and she became famous, but her parents never allowed to be interviewed in the television and make her a heroine. Okay, this is what here the lesson begins with, and here we are going to learn about the character which is called Tilly Smith. So student, let's begin with the further go and let's be started. Now here is a story from Thailand. The Smith family from southeast England were celebrating Christmas at a beach resort in southern Thailand. So the Smith family were celebrating the Christmas in the southeast of the Thailand in the Phuket beach. Tilly Smith was a 10-year-old schoolgirl. Her sister was 7-year-old. Their parents were Penny and Colin Smith. So here the Tilly Smith is 12-year-old girl, okay, and she had one more sister and her age was 7. Her age was 7, and they had a parents named Penny. Yes, they named Penny and Colin. Okay, fine, all right. So they all are Smith family. Which family? Smith family, and they came here in the Thailand on the Phuket beach to celebrate the Christmas Eve. Then it was 26 December 2004. Deadly tsunami waves were already on their way. They had been triggered by a massive earthquake of northern Sumatra earlier that morning. So this tsunami brought a very massive earthquake and they were on the way, and it triggered on 26th of December 2004, what we have learned in the beginning of the lesson. So in the last paragraph, the water was swelling and kept coming in. Penny Smith remembered. The beach was getting smaller and smaller. I didn't know what was happening. So what happened here? So it was a very pleasant day, a very good day. So everyone enjoying there on the beach. But the beach was getting smaller and smaller, and no one is getting why it is happening so. Or it is any natural phenomena, a natural beauty. So everyone thinking like that. But the Penny Smith, the mother of Tilly Smith, she start observing why this beach is getting smaller and smaller again and again. I am not understanding here. So this is what you got to learn in the first 3 paragraphs of the lesson. So in the right side of the page you will get some grocery portion. Resort, it means a place where people go on holiday. So they were staying there. And triggered means caused, okay, outcomes of any event. Describes a sudden violent reaction here, and an undersea earthquake caused the tsunami. So first the earthquake came and it caused the big huge tsunami. Okay, now comes to another page number 28. But the Tilly Smith sensed that something was wrong. Her mind kept going back to a geography lesson she had taken in England just 2 weeks before she flew out to Thailand with her family. This Tilly Smith imagined something is going to be wrong here. Yes, something going to be wrong here, because I heard about the geography lesson which is taught by my teacher, and she taught that when the beach becomes smaller and smaller, when the water level goes down, it seems these all are, okay, implications of the tsunami. She got knew about this, and what she said, yes, and all of them are enjoying on the beach. Now the second paragraph says, Tilly saw the sea slowly rise and start to foam, bubble and form whirlpools. Now this Tilly observed this beach is slowly rising and the water level is increasing. The bubbles were coming out of the water and it seems like whirlpool. So the meaning of the whirlpool is when the bubbles come outside of the water and they will blast in a small sense. So this thing is called whirlpool. She remembered that she had seen Hawaiian Island in 1946. She remembered that she had seen this in class in a video of tsunami that had hit the Hawaiian Island in 1946. So this little girl, Tilly Smith, start memorizing her geography lesson which she heard in the class some weeks before while coming here on this beach. She saw a video of tsunami. She saw a video of tsunami, in Hawaiian Island, where it is in Hawaiian Island in 1946. A tsunami was taken in the era of 1946 and she saw that video. And on the same video she saw the same implications. She saw same implications like bubbles are getting out of the waves and it seems like whirlpool. The level of the water is decreasing, coincidentally. So she saw all these kind of outcomes of the tsunami and she got new. Yes, here we are standing on the Thailand island. It seems that the tsunami is going to come. Then what happened? Her geography teacher had shown her class the video and told them the tsunami can be caused by earthquakes, volcanoes and landslides. So tsunami can be caused by the earthquake, volcanoes and landslides. So you should take care about this. Then the third paragraph. Tilly started to scream at her family to get off the beach. Now Tilly got new. Hey, my family, just get out from the beach because these are the implications. These are the sign of tsunami going to be hit to this island. Then what happened? She talked about an earthquake under the sea. She got more and more hysterical, said her mother, Penny. Then her mother start laughing on Tilly. Hey you Tilly, what kind of nonsense things you are telling? I don't think so about this. Though I have talked about the earthquake, so you got frightened about this? No, it is not an implication and the outcomes of the tsunami here. So then what happened after full stop? I didn't know what a tsunami was, but seeing my daughter so frightened, I thought something serious must be going on. I don't know what was going to be happen here, but seeing my daughter frightened, she became more serious. Who? Tilly. Then Tilly's parents took her and her sister away from the beach to the swimming pool at the hotel. So, by alertness of the Tilly to her family, so their family shifted to the swimming pool nearby to the hotel beach. A number of other tourists also left the beach with them. Yes, this Tilly Smith given an alert to each and everyone there on the beach. So everyone rushed back to the hotel. Then it was as if the entire sea had come out after them. I was screaming, run, run, run. So the Tilly Smith is screaming to everyone, please leave this beach very fast because the tsunami is going to be hit here. Run, run, run. She is screaming again and again, again and again. And within a span of second, the whole entire beach was vacant. It became empty because of the changing climate. Then the family took refuge in the third floor of the hotel. The building withstood the surge of 3 tsunami waves. If they had stayed on the beach, they would not have been alive. So the family taken the shelter in the third floor of the hotel, and the tsunami waves came and they hit it very hardly to the building, but the building stood because it was constructed in such a strong and a rigid force, and the tsunami couldn't did anything to the building, and the rest of the peoples who neglected, they died. And if they were going to be stay there on the beach, no one going to be survive, everyone would die. So this is what here. Then the Smith later met other tourists who had lost entire families. Thanks to Tilly and her geography lesson, they had been forewarned. Tilly went back to her school in England and told her classmate her terrifying tale. So what happened? Now the Tilly Smith came outside of the hotel and they talked to the families who have lost their entire families in these 3 drastic waves of the tsunami on the day of 26th December 2004. Now the Tilly, after seeing such a drastic image, she went back to the England and she met with her classmates and she started reciting her story, what they had experienced there in the beach, and she started telling about her geography lesson and about her experiences, what she had from the geography lessons on the day of the tsunami, okay, in the 2004. Now everyone became so helping to the Tilly Smith. Hey you Tilly Smith, you made us to save our life, okay, and here she became a deserving girl. Yes, I deserve this because she learned the geography lesson thoroughly. So student, what you will learn from the second part of the Tilly Smith, a character Tilly Smith, so you will learn that the girl who was studying there in the class and she is listening to the class very thoroughly and she is not disturbed at all. If you listen to each and every class very thoroughly now in present by watching this video or they are sitting in the class, so once and one day that lesson going to help you most. It will help you most. It can save your life also, how the lesson, a geography lesson, saved the life of this girl, a little girl, Tilly Smith. Understood? See how a punctual student she is. She studied the geography lesson thoroughly and watched that video thoroughly and she came out of that thing. Yes or no? So this is how our school help us to save our lives. This is how our school help us to hold us in such a helping manner in every turning point of our life. Understood? This is what here in the part 2 of the lesson, the tsunami. So here you have learned about the Tilly Smith, a British schoolgirl, and you learned about her family and how she saved the life of other peoples there in the Thailand's Kochi Island. Okay, now comes to student here comprehension questions. Okay, you have an comprehension questions. Let's read it out. So answer the following in a phrase or sentence. Why did Tilly's family come to Thailand? Why did Tilly's family come to Thailand? See, Tilly's family come to Thailand to celebrate the Christmas Eve, okay, on the occasion of the Christmas festival, and they came there for an enjoyment and they came there for a joyful days. Understood? Now comes to the second question. What were the warning signs that both Tilly and her mother saw? Tilly saw that the bubbles were generating out from the waves, and the whirlpool, it seems like a whirlpool, and the bubbles were bursting, and her mother seen that the level of the sea water or a beach water is going down and down and the level decreases. So these are the two implications and these are the two signs what her mother and Tilly experienced on the beach. Now comes to the third question. Do you think Tilly's mother was alarmed by them? No, she taken it lightly and she seems that might be you have afraid from the earthquake. So it is she never taken it as a very crucial one, a very effective one. She taken it lightly. So Tilly's mother was not so afraid, okay, by this tsunami. Now comes to the fourth question. Where had Tilly seen the sea behaving in the same strange fashion? Okay, Tilly seen the sea behaving in the same strange fashion in the video lesson which were taught by the geography lesson. Okay, and the video lesson is all about from the Hawaiian island on the day of 1946. Yes, it is mentioned here, tsunami in Hawaiian island, where in 1946. So she got learn about this video lesson which is taught by her geography teacher. Okay, now comes to the fifth question. Where did the Smith family and the others on the beach go to escape from the tsunami? The Smith family and others on the beach go to the escape from the tsunami in the hotel room, the third floor, where the three waves, drastic waves, hit it to the hotel, but it never made any such a big thing to the hotel. The hotel remained as it is. So because it is a strong and rigid, and the lives of the people who were there on the beach are saved because of the alarming signs by the Tilly Smith, who screamed very loudly to run away the people who were there on the beach. Now comes to the sixth question. How do you think her geography teacher felt when he heard about what Tilly had gone in Phuket? Okay, might be her geography lesson would be proud of this Tilly Smith, because Tilly Smith have learned the geography lesson very thoroughly. Because of that, she saved her life, even the lives of the rest of the people there on the beach. Understood? So student, this is all about here in the part 2, and here we have learned all these kind of things. Now student, let's discuss about the part 3. So here we are going to discuss part 3 in the same lesson. Okay, fine. So before beginning the part 3, let's begin with the introduction part, which is given here on the page number 29. So what this introduction part says to us? See, look carefully at the picture of the boy and his dog and try to describe the things that you see using just words and phrases. Either the teacher or one of the students can write down the words and phrases on the blackboard. Okay, so student, on the right side corner of the page you given one picture. A boy is sitting on a bench with his dog and they were looking towards the beach. Then some phrases are given here. This is how you can start. Calm, blue sea, ruined huts. Okay, so here, so these are the phrases and the words are given here. So read it out once again. Calm, blue sea, ruined huts. Ruined hut means destroyed, the huts which were destroyed. Okay, they were not good, they were fallen down. So these huts can be called here ruined huts. Fine. So student, let's begin with the remaining part 3 and the first paragraph of the part 3. See, before the giant waves slammed into the coast in India and Sri Lanka, wild and domestic animals seemed to know what was about to happen. So student, India and the Sri Lanka are meant for the wild animals like dogs, okay, like different kind of animals like elephants, giraffes and other animals, wild animals. So they are very intelligent, they are very cautious. They can know each and everything if something wrong going to be happen. This is what we are going to learn about this part 3. Here we will learn about the animals and how their sense power, how their sense organs make the peoples to survive. Now, they fled to safety. According to eyewitnesses accounts, elephants screamed and ran for higher ground. Now, the people who have seen all these kind of things, what they used to tell, according to the eyewitness of the people, that elephants which they came there on the beach to take a pleasant climate and have a good glance of it, they became so arrogant, they start screaming loudly. They are screaming and they are running towards the jungle, and they are going inside the deep jungle because they don't want to stay for such a seconds on the beach. Why they behave like this? No one knows anything. So they start seeing this kind of reactions of the elephants, even the wild animals, simply and standing there, and afterwards they guessed something wrong going to be happen, and they also start running towards the jungle and towards the shelter. See, now dogs refuse to go outdoors Flamingos abandoned their low-lying breeding areas and zoo animals rushed into their shelters and could not be enticed to come back out. So student, in the part 3 you will learn here. Yes, in the part 3 you will learn that here one question arises. How animals, which animals? Wild animals. How wild animals saved the lives of common people who were there on the beach. So it is a question for us. So how they have saved? They left the place and they went inside the deep forest, and the pet dogs which they used to come for a walk on the beach, they refused to come outside, they refused to come outdoor of their home, and they stayed there in the home. In this manner, the owner of the dog, he never came, okay, because dog is not coming, so he stayed to take care of his dog, and when the tsunami came and he saved his life, even his dog also. Okay, so everyone, the zoo animals which were there, and they taken a shelter in their shelter home, and they never came outside because a climate change is going to be happen, a drastic tsunami going to be hit towards the coastal areas of the Sri Lanka and India. Okay, this is what we have learned in the first paragraph. Now let's begin with the second one. Many people believe that animal possesses a sixth sense and know when the earth is going to shake. Some experts believe that animals' more acute hearing helps them to hear or feel the earth's vibration. They can sense an approaching disaster long before humans realize what's going on. So experts and the people's story were coming outside. Why animals are behaving like this? Because animals have a sixth sense and they have a good hearing power. They can hear the vibration of the sound, they can hear the vibration of the sound which is coming out of from the earthquake, and due to that vibration they can get know that earthquake is going to affect the tsunami, affect the coastal areas, or the tsunami is going to be heated. So by this sixth sense or by this sense power, they can save the lives of their self, and they can save the lives of the peoples who are going outside for a walk, or they are or who are enjoying there on the beach. Understood? Now comes to the another paragraph. We cannot be sure whether animals have a sixth sense or not, but the fact is that the giant waves that rolled through the Indian Ocean killed more than 50,000 people in a dozen countries, but not many animals have been reported dead. See, we don't know animals have a sense power or no, but the tsunami, yes, the tsunami which was heated to many coastal areas of many countries have killed 150,000 people in a single day. Though this corona pandemic haven't killed in such a big amount of such a big number of people in the same day, but this tsunami in such a single day have killed 150,000 people altogether, and these animals never died more. Yes, there will be some report of 1 or 2 or 3 animals, but in such a big manner animals have never died, because animals knows about this climate change very quickly, and they can save their life while taking a shelter somewhere in the deep forest. This is what all about the animals. Now along India's, now last paragraph of the same page, along India's Cuddalore coast, okay, India's Cuddalore coast, where thousands of people perished. Perished means died. In the India's Cuddalore coast, where thousands of people were died. See, buffaloes, goats and dogs were found unharmed, but the buffaloes, dogs and goats have found unharmed. They were not harmed because they having a good sense power and they saved their life. Then the Yella National Park in Sri Lanka is home to a variety of animals including elephants, leopards and 130 species of birds. So here what we will learn? We will learn about the Yella National Park, and it is situated in Sri Lanka. And there you will find the variety of the species of all animals. You will find their elephants, you will find the leopard, and you find total 130 species of birds. Then 60 visitors were washed away from the Patangala beach inside the park, but no animal carcasses were found except for 2 water buffaloes. Then what happens in the Yella National Park? You will find many number of people who were died. Okay, how many people who were died there? Total 60 visitors who visited that national park, they all died. But the animals which are staying inside the shelter of the zoo, they predicted the drastic change of the climate, the drastic change of the whole climate, and they predicted that the tsunami is going to hit this national park, and no one have died from those animals except 2 carcasses they have found of the buffaloes. Then about an hour before the tsunami hit, people at Yella National Park had observed 3 elephants running away from the Patangala beach. Okay, so people who were there nearby to the national park, what they observed? 3 elephants running away from the Patangala beach. They observed that elephants are running very fastly. Usually elephants don't run because they are fatty and they are overweighted, but elephants are running to save their lives, and they are going inside the jungle. And this scenario is observed by the peoples who are standing on the beach, who are standing on the Patangala beach. Okay, and the peoples who are there on the national park, they also died. How many of them? 60 visitors. And how many of the buffaloes died? 2 carcasses of the buffaloes they found. Who? Okay, a forest department. Then comes to the last paragraph. A Sri Lankan gentleman who lives on the coast near Gully said his 2 dogs would not go for their daily run on the beach. They are usually excited to go on this outing, he said, but on that day they refused to go and most probably saved his life. Now, a gentleman of a Sri Lankan diaspora, what he used to say: though my home is nearby to the beach and I have 2 dogs, and I used to take these 2 dogs for a walk, for a running, and they are too excited whenever we used to go for a outside, for running, for jumping, for walking. But at the same day they never came outside, though I was forcing them to bring out outside, but they never coming at all. They are hiding themselves from me inside the bed or inside their sofa, and they were not coming outside for a walk and for a running. So they were hiding under the things. So this is how even I also neglected the walk, and I stayed with them, and I saved my lives from the drastic tsunami which is going to hit the Sri Lanka and India. So this is what we have learned from these 2 parts. So student, here we have some comprehension check question. Okay, so in the part 3, what you have learned all about the tool of the death of the peoples and of the animals. The proportion, the ratio of the death among animals and the people is brings a very big difference. How animals death ratio is very less and the people's death ratio is very more, because peoples don't have such kind of sense power what animals have. Though animals have a good sense power, they can predict any kind of climate change and they can hide themselves to a safer place. This is how we have noticed. Even human beings have also noticed those elephants, but they never learned such a lesson from them, and they stayed there on the beach and they lose their life. So here we have learned that how the dogs have helped their owner to save their lives. Here you have learned the examples of Yella National Park, where the animals were hiding themselves in the shelters and 60 visitors were died. Here you have learned about the Patangala beach, which is situated in the Sri Lanka. There also some visitors were died, but animals are died, only 2 buffaloes. So throughout the tsunami scenario on the day of 26 December 2004, total 1,50,000 people have given up their lives, wherever the tsunami hit it, and only some few of the animals were died, because animals have a good sense power. They are very intelligent. They can predict any change in their life. They can predict any coming dangerous things. So this is what all about the animals. So if something going to be happen in the coming days, we should observe why animals are behaving in this manner. Yes, something going to be wrong here, or something going to be happen something different. So we should observe the behaviorness of the animals, and from this we should learn here. If we are residing somewhere in the earthquake prone areas or somewhere in the tsunami prone areas, so we should take care about all these kind of things. So student, from the part 2 and the part 3 we have learned that how some peoples have saved their lives by their own experience, and how the animals save their life by their own sense power. This is all about here in the part 2 and the part 3. So student, come here on the comprehension check question of the part 3. So answer using a phrase or a sentence. In the tsunami, 1,50,000 people died. How many animals died? Only 2 carcasses of the buffaloes were being founded by a forest department. Only 2 water buffaloes were died. If we take the proportion of the people and the animal. How many people and animals died in Yella National Park? See, totally 60 visitors were died, and in the Yella National Park some few of the animals and died in Yella National Park. No one died. In animals you will not find the death toll rate of the animals. Only how many people died? Some 60 visitors have died. What do people say about the elephants of Yella National Park? The elephants of the Yella National Park, they became so arrogant, they start screaming and they start running towards the jungle area. What did the dogs in Galley do? They never came outside for the walk, where they used to come in such a fantastic manner, and they are too excited. But on the same day of 26 December 2004, they never came back or outside for a walk or for running, and they stayed there backside. So this is all about here in the question and answers of the comprehension check. So student, here we have completed the part 2 and the part 3 of the same lesson. So here I am going to give you a homework. Complete the comprehension check questions of the part 1, part 2 and part 3, and should be written in your literature notebook and should be sent me in the WhatsApp, where I am going to check it. So this is all about here, about the tsunami or lesson 2. And whatever glossary we have written here, please note it down in your notebook. And the glossary part which is coming towards the left and the right side of your pages, have a note there in your notebook and try to send me there in the WhatsApp, where I am going to see and put my remarks. So student, this is all about here today's video, and here we have completed the lesson, the tsunami. So student, have a thorough reading over all the pages of this lesson. Understand it, watch this video once, twice and thrice and get know what is there in it. And afterwards we are going to discuss the glossary portion, a grammar portion and question and answers of this lesson. So student, for the time being, wait for another video and have a nice day. Bye bye.